present Math Olympiad published by Educational Publishing House. Educational Publishing House has published Olympiad book since long time ago. The initial publication is Book 1, Book 2, Book 3 of Math Olympiad's competition manual. Book 1 especially is for age 7 to 8, which is primary 1 to 2 in Singapore. Book 2 is for primary 3 and 4, which is age 9 and 10 in Singapore. Book 3 is for primary 5 and primary 6, which is age 11 and 12. These 3 books has been selling well as bestsellers in Singapore, and it is gonna be phased off and replaced by this series, which is called Basic. Math Olympiad for Primary School Basics is a new edition to represent the 3 books combined in one book. In details, these books have comprehensive coverage of topics, questions of higher order thinking skills, a range is increasing level of difficulty, exposure of problem-solving heuristics, step-by-step worked solutions for complete understanding. So, teachers or students can do assessment or exercises to face Olympiad competitions, to do the practice day by day to prepare themselves. Look at Math Olympiad for lower primary. We want to discuss in depth about these books in which Dr. Thomas Kuh, when he tried to summarize these books, he actually put in some concepts, which is basic concept in young children's mind, so that they can think and solve mathematical problems in sequence, in logical thought, step by step, so that they can have all these habits of thinking, good step-by-step analysis of thinking when they do mathematics in the future. So this book actually is published by Educational Publishing House, written by Lee Lan Lan under consultation of Dr. Thomas Kuh. Now, because mathematics is a core subject throughout a person's education today, creative mathematics is gained popularity as an alternate method to solve challenging mathematical problems. This book is specially written for young children in early stages of primary education. By introducing creative mathematics at an early stage of young education, it will spur the child to develop a greater interest in mathematics. Creative mathematics helps to develop the logical thinking and problem-solving ability of a child. These skills will become very useful as he or she grows up. This book is the bestseller in Singapore. It has been published 10 years ago and reprinted 4 times, which is best-selling for young children in Singapore. Now let's take a look at the details. It consists of 5 parts. The first part is the whole number, in which the concept for whole number will be planted in children's minds and developed in problem solving later on, which is going to chapter 2, problem solving strategy, and then going to chapter 3, real life application problems, geometrical problems, and logical questions. Now, it's in chapter 1, whole number, it will go in depth, it will introduce numerical family and counting the numbers, the concept of even numbers and odd numbers, mental calculation rules in additions and subtraction. It's also go to math puzzle. Chapter 4 and 5 especially will help children to calculate faster and more analytical way. Later on in the next chapter, in the problem solving, children will be given real fact examples to act it out and then to find a pattern when they solve problems. We'll go through all the details later on in the books, but now let's look at chapter 1 Let's zoom in chapter 1 to see how they present the topics. Numerical family. Compare the values of the numbers. They are given something for young children to do coloring and to understand what is this number represent. Now think about this. This is to train the logic of the children by answering these questions. And what are the objectives? What are the concepts to learn from this chapter? It will be given in here also in these questions. Some examples is given from the questions by a game, by playing a game so that they can answer. Number 2 also the same. After doing 3 examples, here come some practices. Practice make perfect. By using the concept in front, in here, and the examples in here, children should be able to do questions in here for practices. Now the next concept will be given in numerical and examples. Then another problem will be given. Now the beginning of from chapter 1, they'll try to have a summary questions, which is overall revision questions. This is the summary of whatever they learned in chapter 1. By doing these questions, they have a complete understanding of chapter 1. The same thing for chapter 2. They try to explain by using a fun way, explain to the students what they need to think about, the understanding of concepts, the learning from examples, the same questions, then other questions. This is going to mathematical problems already. Okay, problem sum, model, method, then questions again, and review again for everything, conclusions. Now the same thing until chapter 12, totally 12 chapters here. And at the end, of course, EPS books always have answer sheets for every questions. Page 205 will be all the solutions and the answer. So this book is one of the best sellers for you to prepare your children. It's also a new arrival. Again, presented by Educational Publishing House, bringing to Indonesia